Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 42 in the book of Hebrews. Today we're going to ask a fascinating question, at least it was fascinating to me, which is, can prayer time travel? That is, if you think about it like a football player throwing a pass, can I throw a prayer pass from today down the corridors of time, and the prayer will land at some point in the future into the arms of a God who has certain characteristics, who will hear that prayer and be effective in the answer to that prayer at some point down the future, maybe one generation away, maybe 14 generations away, maybe 100 generations away. For this to happen, we have to, kind of like Abraham. Like yesterday, we studied Abraham, and he trusts in two things: the person of God and the abilities of God. And the thing he was noted for and praised for in the book of Hebrews was that God was able to raise Isaac from the dead. And that act of believing that God could raise from the dead is something that we all need in our spiritual life, because that same belief that God can raise Jesus from the dead is going to be critical to our faith. So similarly here, we're going to find a person in the book of Hebrews in the Hall of Fame of Faith. His name is Isaac. He's actually Abraham's son. And he does something. He believes that prayer can time travel, that prayer today can affect some point in the future. It's just one verse here. Let's find it. It's in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 20. So like pausing at the history of Abraham, now let's just pause with this. By faith, Isaac invoked future blessings on Jacob and Esau. So by faith, Isaac invoked future blessings on Jacob and Esau. And that's what we're going to ask today is, could I do the same thing? Could I have the same faith that Isaac had in blessing the future generations by faith that I have here today? So Isaac was a father. He was a son of Abraham. And in Matthew chapter 4, we find that he is in the generational heritage of not only David, but actually Jesus. So prayers that this guy, Isaac, could be praying for could go down and bless David and bless all the generations up to Jesus. And I want to expand the idea of having just physical descendants. Some of us don't have children, that's fine. But even spiritual descendants, spiritual generations, I think it's perfectly, all the truths of this passage are perfectly applicable just to our spiritual descendants. So we should be praying for the future physical and spiritual descendants. It's like this chain of faithfulness. And I pray that every link of that chain for me and for you would be unbroken. Well, how do you get unbroken links of a spiritual chain? Well, you break yourself upon the stone of Jesus. So you break yourself with, repentance. The unbroken links of the chain of heritage are broken. Every one of them is broken by conviction and falling down before the Lord. So the first thing I pray for is help, Lord. Help the future generations at the moment of their convictions, at the moment of their despair, when they cry out to you and say that I am a sinner, and help me and forgive me, and I agree with you. Could you please, Lord, be there and help them during that time? And then I pray for their testing, the time of their testings, when they're challenged with something that even Abraham considered. Are you able to raise the dead? Help them with that thought. I pray for their pain points of temptation. I know that the points of temptation are your help points. Even in Hebrews 2:18, because Jesus suffered and resisted when he was tempted, he's able to help those who are being tempted. So Lord, in the future generations, when they are tempted, please help them today and 1,000 years from now. I pray, Lord, that you would be present loudly in your indwelling of them, in your convictions and in the moments of temptation. I pray, Lord, that they would have faith, that they would know that you can raise from the dead, and as you indwell these generations in the future, I pray, Lord, that you sympathize with their weakness and help them to draw near in their times of need. May you grant mercy and help them find grace in their times of need. I pray, Lord, that you would help them receive you and become children. You are in the children-making business. I pray, Lord, that you make spiritual children out of my children and my historical spiritual children. Not just for one generation or 3 or 100, Lord, many, many generations, etc. I pray, Lord, that this faith check for me, that as I pause and ask, can this faith be effective in the future? I pray, Lord, that this prayer and groaning could be effective over time, that this prayer would span time, and as I throw this spiritual ball down the corridors of time, that at some point in the future you would catch it, and by your goodness and by your character, which does not change, I pray, Lord, that you would have effect in the people that are to come. Lord, I know that you want believers, and that you are here now, and that you will be here forever. I know that you hear my prayers. I know that you care, and I know that you want people to draw near to you in 2023 and 3 generations and 9 generations from now. I pray, Lord, that this prayer can span time, that you live on your throne, even at that point, as it says in Hebrews 7:25, and that you are living to intercede, and I pray that you would do so. So, Lord, I pray, Lord, that you come and make your home with this generation, and come and make your home with the generations to come. Lord, please catch this prayer 100 generations from now.